Great.
All that discussion about cocaine. Waveform looks good. Cool. Well, let's go. What's up, people? We in here. We're doing it. Whatever. Who cares?
Hi.
I'm here with one of the. You're my favorite singer in Los Angeles.
You got this. Oh man.
Yeah,
Thank
I got
you.
this. Yeah, that's like how am I gonna smoothly transition
Thanks.
here?
Yeah.
I have to screw up your last name though, because that's the shtick I've been going for.
By all
and I was
means.
thinking about it today. I was like, how am I gonna screw up your name?
Think like a
'Cause it's
castle.
Durrett?
No. Oh yeah.
Ned Durrett.
Yeah, you messed that up big time. You messed that up worse than I was suggesting. That you messed it up.
That's like super French sounding.
Yeah, I was thinking you messed it up with Durrett, which is how most people
Durrett?
mess it up. Durrett, like a turret. I was going for turret.
What is it, Durrett?
Yeah, it's Durrett. You nailed it.
Durrett is Durrett. People say
Durrett. That's what the Southerners would always go, and that's how Ned the Dirt came up. Was that Southerners when they say Durrett, they shorten everything and speak kind of relatively quickly. At least where I'm from in Spartanburg.
Yeah,
kind of mountain folk.
Spartanburg.
Spartanburg, Sparkle City, aka. And they would say Ned Dirt.
Yeah, so
that's where Dirt came from.
How you doing, Dirt?
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Hey, man. Nothing. Long day.
Long day.
I'll tell you what.
Putting in the hours.
Yeah.
Doing your good work. You're one of the few good people in the music scene.
Thanks.
Everyone else is getting loaded and screwed up, and you actually help people for a living.
Yeah, trying to.
Oh no, this is called taking a load off. You earned this.
That's true. Yeah.
Everyone
you're
else,
right.
they didn't earn nothing.
No, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah, I kind of wish I worked in a non-people centric industry just so I could take a load off at work, even too. But we don't.
No,
get to do that.
That seems like kind of a heavy job, man.
It is. Well, and yeah, so for those at home, I work with adults with disabilities, and actually 3 of us in the band do. So Chris does, Ethan does, and I do. So the 3 of us do, and we all, like everybody else in Los Angeles, kind of piece it together and work several different jobs and kind of make an income from a lot of different places, but
from nothing conventional.
Yeah, and are like trying to slowly work until we actually are making a living from music and whatever form that takes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 3 of us do it. And so Ethan and I work with the same guy. We share the same guy who has Down syndrome, and he's like just awesome. He's so great.
Yeah.
And that's really special. And then, I work with a couple other people too.
You were telling me before we started that you're working with people who can't even use words and stuff. So you work with people with severe.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And the term for that I learned while working this job. I was about a year into it and still didn't know this term. But the way that the PC way that you refer to it is non-speaking.
Non-speaking.
Yeah. So because you can't say nonverbal because they do use words.
They understand words, right?
They understand words for sure.
Yeah.
But they use words also, but just in other ways. So they you will use a whiteboard and you'll write down words on it. And give them choices to pick and choose. So they can do that with tapping, or they also have iPads or phones that they can use that will verbalize for them.
Yeah,
too. So it
just seems like such a like being a musician. You kind of put your heart and your soul into that, right?
Yeah,
and
then. God, yes.
And then you go to work. Like when I go to work, I'm just like, yeah. What are you drinking?
Yeah. Well,
you go to work and you're just like, all right.
Yeah. Well, and it's tough, but
is it pretty rewarding or no?
Yeah, it is. Yes. Yeah, and I think it teaches me a lot of lessons, and I don't know. I hope this doesn't sound condescending, but at least so.
You're such a nice guy. Don't worry about
it. Thanks. I know. My biggest fear in life is that people will I'll die, and there will be one person on this planet who will go God, Ned sucks. I hated Ned. And now I have that one person, so I'm kind of free of it. Actually, I don't think my ex-wife would say that she hates me, but anyway,
yeah, that's right.
I've got at least one person.
You got a hater.
Yeah, and her
that's
boyfriend maybe, who are that guy sucks. You know.
Well, yeah. Every now and then they probably bond over how sucky you are.
But they also might not. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway.
Hopefully she watches this and weighs in.
Not worth it.
That's a healthy place to be.
I mean that in every way.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. So it's definitely taxing. And, for what I didn't want to sound condescending saying is a thought I have pretty often where we kind of people who don't have autism or don't have an extra chromosome, right? And I think even people who do also have these things. So I'm sorry, I'm already having people on the internet argue with me in my head.
Oh, dude, you're on my podcast.
Yeah,
that was wrong move.
I know. I'm already having people on the internet going like, "Fuck you, Ned." They think and feel everything that we think and feel, which is true. But like, so what I was saying was like somebody with autism, or at least certain types of autism, as I understand it, don't have as much access in the part of their brain that deals with social constructs and kind of pomp and circumstance and like ways that we kind of have convoluted the human experience, slash added to it or whatever you want to say. But like, a lot of times I will see those people act and go like, yeah, man, that's how I want to act. Like I want to be that way. Like I want to not give a shit about like what the lady in line at Whole Foods thinks of me.
You don't seem to have that in you. You're not.
No. Well, in fact, I think I'm like, I think I'm like almost, I was just saying this to the mother of the guy, one of the guys I work with, that like, I think I am the opposite of that.
Yeah,
like I'm the opposite of a sociopath, and that like, and it might, honestly, it might be a disability that I have. And I don't know if it has a name. It probably does. I guess somebody at the on the internet argue with me.
Jamie.
About it. But
right, he's not here.
Too bad. Yeah, but like I am too focused on all of the social constructs that are going on, all of the social dynamics that are happening at any given time. Shows are hard for me to be at because I'm constantly going like I understand all of the stakes that are at play when you are going to a show as a person who should be going to shows and should be going to see other people's bands and like, what do I look like when I'm watching everybody? Am I paying attention to the right things? I went outside to go smoke some weed. Is that going to be a problem? Is that person on stage going to think that
that's interesting in particular because I have the exact same like anxiety. If there's one, like when I saw a therapist when I was younger, he's like, you have very high levels of anxiety. I'm
interesting.
Like, well, thank you.
I wouldn't have thought that about you.
Right, because the way that I decided to kind of deal with it is like I feel like you can go two ways. On the one hand, you can, try to be really controlled and, make sure that everyone likes you and whatnot. Or you can go the other way and just be like, this is me. This is how I was born.
Absolutely.
So you say your fear is that one person's gonna, be like, Ned sucks. My fear is like too many people are gonna be like, Ben's actually a nice guy. Like I don't want people coming around thinking that. Like,
God, I hate that dude. Is what you want? You want to have 15 people.
You got to attract that kind of press.
Like, oh, he's a nightmare. Yeah, I know. Well, when I talk to people about you. I will regularly, like, that's kind of one of my things that I'll say about you. It's like,
he's actually a nice guy.
Like, I've hung out with Ben on several occasions, and I really love him. Like genuinely, every time we hang out, we have these, like, really thoughtful and honest and, like, very vulnerable kind of conversations, and that, like, and it's always fun. And
very real. Well, that's one thing I love about you is you are not afraid to get real.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Every time we talk, I feel like, Jesus, like that was a soul cleansing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. I think it's that both my parents are ministers, and so there's a little bit of that, I think, too.
I thought just like your dad was.
No, both of them. Yeah, and now my mom's wife is also a minister, so I've got 3 ministers who are technically my parents, and my stepmom is, also a saint and could be a minister if she wanted to be.
In what faith?
So my dad is a Presbyterian minister, which for those who know, it's PCUSA, which is the more liberal of those two, which I feel is important to mention here.
To those who mind, that is important.
But he's also it's still in South Carolina, so it's still relatively conservative. And then my mom is a hyper-liberal, is a member of a hyper-liberal denomination called Unitarian Universalism. I know. Most people haven't heard of it. It's
what is that?
Relatively small.
I'm Catholic, so I'm milk toast, white bread.
Biggest, one of the biggest religions. So Unitarian Universalism is not so much, so it's a religion, but to me the important distinction is that they don't read from one sacred text. They read from all sacred texts.
Okay.
And that it is not
as in like they read the Quran and the really?
Yeah, and the Torah and man, I've been out of church for too long, so I'm going to sound...
The book that
I'm having a bunch of people on the internet argue with me in my head, so
don't
worry, everybody. I'm already doing it for myself. But the Tao and the... and then the... yeah, anyway.
The Sikhs have some kind of book, I'm sure.
Yeah. So my mom has a song about it. My mom is also a songwriter because she's this incredible Renaissance woman who does everything and really is one of the reasons I am the way. The main reason that I'm the way that I am.
Wait. Where exactly are you from again? What state?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, right?
Born and raised, yeah.
South Carolina, born to 2 ministers.
Yeah.
Now 3 because your mom...
My mom is a lesbian also, which is important for me to tell everybody.
It'd be weird for her to marry a woman and not be a lesbian.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, yes, that's true. She'd be fluid.
Yeah.
But
2019, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And that's important for me to say to people who listen and for people who like this is one of the first things that I'll tell people when I get to know somebody. And one of the first things I ask people about themselves. I never asked you about your parents, which is a bummer, but I will.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Either here or next time we hang out.
They're normal.
They're normal.
I guess.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah,
but I tell people that because it was like one of the biggest, it was a dark secret that I had in my life for a long time.
That your parents were ministers?
No, that my mom is a lesbian.
That your mom's a lesbian, yeah.
Yeah, so so usually when I meet people, I go like, parents are both ministers, mom's a lesbian, and then everybody goes like, oh, that's why your parents aren't married anymore. And I go like, yes, cool, I covered those 3 things.
Was that a whole thing in your family when it happened or no?
I was 6.
Oh, you were really young.
Yeah, my mom she told me a funny story about like when I asked her if she was a lesbian before. I can't remember if it was before. I don't think it was before they split, but it was after they split, and we were like riding in a car somewhere, and we were listening to the Indigo Girls, and my mom is very much a lesbian, and so we were listening. I think my mom will think that's funny. Anyway, so I was reading. I was like looking at the Indigo Girls CD cover while we were riding in the car, and I said like, "Are they lesbians?" And she said like, "Yes, honey, they're lesbians." And then I said, "Are you a lesbian?" And she said like, "Well, I don't know."
She goes,
"Yeah,
excuse me, dude." Yeah. I have 2 aunts who are aunts to sophisticated
I prefer ants.
Ants is like how we say it.
Come on.
But
don't
the
be
you,
weird.
you know, it's just...
You're not British.
I know, right? Aunts. My aunt.
Aunties.
My auntie. Yeah. I have 2 aunts who are lesbians, possibly a third.
Okay.
That's my speculation. But either way, when we were...
Does she listen?
No, she's not listening, so
Too
we
bad.
Rip on her. Yeah.
Well, I just want to know. I want her to like write in.
She's actually
She doesn't text you. She just writes in.
Yeah.
Sends you an email.
Letter to the editor. She's actually a really brilliant like mathematician and professor.
Cool.
Yeah, she's wickedly smart. Very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. Also lends itself to the lesbian thing. I'm telling you.
All lesbians.
I don't think all lesbians are stubborn.
So stubborn.
Internet. No, I had growing up. Just these 2 aunts. Just they had short hair, and I noticed that one of them didn't shave her legs, and I just like asked my parents, "What's
lesbian?
Yeah, what's that about?" And not all lesbians don't shave their legs either. We're just
straight women
going into troubling territory.
I dated. Yeah. Well, I saw a woman. One of the women I've like considered kind of one of the loves of my life for a long time. Like
didn't do the shaving thing.
Well, yeah, we'd like probably a year and a half ago, right after my wife and I split.
Was that a year and a half ago?
Oh, 2 years now. But yeah, so I know time keeps going, and I keep remembering things as how I've said them to people in the past.
It's fucking.
But she like flew in and was here, and we had like a very intentional, thoughtful, like what I imagine the most conscious relationship sounding kind of talk about that.
Right.
She had hair in her armpits and hair on her legs, and I was just like, okay, I'm with you. And you should, yes.
Freedom of choice is a good thing,
yes,
babe. Don't get me wrong.
You can choose this, and that's totally cool.
But that's weird.
But like in the same way that like I might be into something in bed, like I'm expressly not into that. And like and yes, it might be because of different social constructs that have been taught to me, and
like
different
the nicest
ideals that have been
way to
beaten
put
in
that. I'd just be like, nah,
yeah,
I'm not. No.
Well, and she's so wonderful. I mean, it really was such a trivial thing to be kind of hung up on, but I was just again being honest and vulnerable about it.
That's relationships, though. I would get hung up on that.
Yeah,
I would. I had a buddy who had a girlfriend with hairy armpits, and I was just like, dude, are you into that? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm into it. And I'm like,
Cool.
All right. I mean, that
great.
seems like a niche kind of thing, though. It seems
I love it. I'm so happy for him.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. But for me, that is a turnoff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I'm not into and stuff I am into, but like, I think like, and this is the way you have the conversation about it, though.
Yeah.
You go like, cool, by all means.
Well, unless you're me, which
I'm
just like, all right, full speed ahead.
You know what? Yeah. You know what my problem with people with hair on their legs is?
You know?
I shave my legs too. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about your music. How long have we known each other, by the way? We've known each other for a while.
Yeah, we played our first show together 4 years ago.
That
was that 3 or 4 years?
Los Angeles is a time suck.
It is, man.
I don't have any concept of time anymore.
Adulthood is a time suck, though,
Jesus
also.
Christ, I'm like about to turn 30.
I think if you pulled some 13-year-olds in Los Angeles, they go like, "No, my life's eternal. And I'm never, I'm never getting old."
Oh,
but,
right. It's
but
just
like
that
we're
we're
I
old,
think we're like getting on 30 and like going like, "Uh-oh, it all keeps going."
It just, it doesn't stop.
But yeah, I think 3.
Is that the Trip Santa Monica?
It was Trip Santa Monica with Greg Gilman of Greg and Good Company.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. It was Greg, you guys, us, and General Mojo's was there.
That's right. And you guys played a show with them relatively recently.
We all still talk.
Really?
That is insane.
That's
no,
wild.
I mean like like you know Greg, I know Greg.
Like,
I know
we all know each other well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
That is
it's a rarity, I think, in
huge
this town
rarity.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people. Yeah. Well, and this is something we were just texting about the band.
Yeah.
We have a text thread that's ongoing all the time.
Yeah.
And Chris and Cassie and I are just like nonstop every day, all day. We really are like Three Musketeers. And then, and Ethan will just chime in every now and again when he kind of picks up his phone. But But we were talking about this idea of like, oh no, we're the seasoned veterans of what a real local scene looks like now.
Yep.
And we were used to being the new kids and still kind of have that mentality.
Yeah, that's
we're like, hey, we're still like swinging up, and we are, but it just is like a matter of having been here for so long, and sometimes stuff doesn't take as fast as you want it to.
You ever meet people who are like, how long have you been here? And I'm like, like 4.5 years, and they're like, oh, you're just a baby. I'm like, I dumped 4.5 years of my life into this wastebasket.
Just add up how much money you spent on rent.
Oh my God, dude. And they're like, I've been here 10. I meet people like, I do. It's sometimes hard to not feel like a total fucking loser. Just be like, man, because I think your band and my band have, we have pretty laudable, respected positions.
British again?
I stop it.
Internet doesn't care about British and American stuff.
Yeah, true. We can make fun of the
talk
Brits.
English how you want to talk English.
But we're in pretty good positions. We can draw. You guys are doing album releases.
Absolutely.
The hi-hat, And
I feel real lucky.
Yes, and we'll get to all that.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes it's just like, damn, again, we're talking about jobs where we work, and it's like, how in the hell do we parlay this thing into job?
Yeah.
How do I job this?
I don't know. I know. I don't even know if we need to figure that out here on this podcast, but
we're not going to figure it out. If we could, that would be great. I would spend
awesome.
3 hours doing that. That would save me so much time.
Me too. Yeah. And it yes, that feeling like a loser thing is it's very real.
Always
it's like
a
very genuine nugget of this experience of being a musician, period.
Yeah.
Is that I was just I can't remember who I was talking to about it. It might have been I think it might have been Kevin from Mechanical Roots, but
nice.
I was just going like isn't this nuts that this is one of the oldest professions, what we do.
Right.
It is like bards have been a thing as long as people have had money
troubadours
to give a stranger to sing to them.
Yep.
And it for some reason has become very devalued, yet at the same time still such a cornerstone of our experience as a culture. No.
It breathes life into life. It breathes meaning into life.
God. Yes.
I was just. What
are you doing if you don't have music?
Right. I just earlier I went to Ralph's to get beer actually, and I was listening to. You listen to the Growlers at all?
No.
Really?
No, but like Chris and Cassie do, and I think they'd be mad at me for saying no.
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah.
Do you actively dislike them, or you just
No. I just like
really
they're just
listen
one
to
of
them?
those bands. They like kind of fall in this category of, for some reason, they're like names that turn me off.
Oh yeah.
And that's the Growlers is
That
one of
name
them where I
turned me
go
off
like,
for a long time.
Yeah, I go like, I don't know that I'd like that.
Yeah.
But I
So,
probably would.
I think there's something. So their newest album, I'm not a huge fan of, and like they just kind of did anyway.
Who's in that band? What do you know the name of the lead singer maybe, or
no? He's like a guy though, and they do Beach Goth. That festival like 7 years running.
I think I just don't know them at all. I think like I wouldn't even
check out the album Chinese Fountain.
Okay,
I was listening to it at Ralph's, and this will loop back around.
Yeah,
I was just coming out in the parking lot. I'm like, dude, I was feeling all these things. I was just like listening to the lyrics and the sounds. I was like, man, these guys like they have a whole thing. They're talking about things that are relevant to me and all that. Like, and like I get like, you know, musicians maybe shouldn't. Not everybody deserves to be rich, right?
Right.
That's true. But Jesus, even if I could be poor and not have to work another job, that would be nice. Someone present me with the blueprint, man. I need the roadmap. I can't. It's so fucking hard, especially with the internet and streaming. I really feel like that's like a big part of kind of what killed it.
Yeah, well, we've just become influencers more than we are what we actually are.
Cool.
Oh my God, I know. So these are two things that Chris and I say to each other on the regular, like we're just in our bouts of frustration where we like get to have little therapy sessions with each other.
Yep.
Is that like oh no, I'm forgetting everything I was just about to say, but is that so like somebody just show me how to make a teacher's salary playing music and writing music. Like that's all I would do.
I would totally
$25,000 to $40,000 a year, and I would just do that. I would like live in a shack. I would have a tiny home for myself for the rest of my life.
100%.
I'd have a family in a tiny home. We just camp outside every night. But like I would play music and make a living doing that.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what the second thing was, but just like we are constantly lamenting the fact that like why is this so hard? It shouldn't, when we watched like I watched Running Down a Dream, the Tom Petty documentary on Netflix.
I haven't seen that yet.
I got so mad in the first 15 minutes, and I'd be interested to know if you have the same experience. The first 15 minutes are Tom Petty going like, yeah, man, I was like growing up in Gainesville, and I'd already had this other band, and we like did pretty well. And then I like found these other three guys that I love playing music with. We made a record. We went out to Los Angeles. I slapped it on the desk of a bunch of record executives. We got a big record deal. It's like I was so mad. Like, how is this the documentary? I know this thing is 4.5 hours long. Yeah. How is this documentary where
that does piss
and then
me
everything else went right. Yeah. And then this thing went right. And then this thing went right. But it wasn't really I mean, there was some tragedy and there was some turns and drama and Tom Petty's story, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But still, like, and I've talked with my mom's wife about this. She was signed to Arista back in the 80s.
Nice.
Like Clive Davis signed her onto his label, and like I don't know if like he was in the room going like, "Whoa, I don't know."
Whatever.
But like she, she's been my rock and roll mentor for a long time, and we've had so many conversations about this of just like, no matter what she knows, the industry is just so different than it was back then.
Right.
That it's like there's almost no roadmap for what success looks like these days as a musician.
Yeah, okay. See, I'm glad you say that because like that seems to be my sense about it too. Is just kind of like it's at a time there was an infrastructure in place where follow these steps. Not everybody's gonna make it, but if you're decent, somebody will probably give you a shot if you bust ass and make sure somebody notices you or whatever. Now it's like. Man, playing at these venues around Los Angeles, like some of these, like the old vestiges of, like the whiskey.
Joke.
A joke. A joke.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, I don't even know how long ago, 40, 50 years ago, you could play and some fucking executive is just like, I like these kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them a deal. Like there was enough money to go around,
right.
And now I feel like maybe... Do you think it's streaming or something else that just kind of like... Because I feel like the money... Because you look at like what record labels are making and they're just laying people off. Like they're losing money.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I wish this was something I knew more about.
Yeah.
I think like... And I don't know that anyone really knows more about it. I think even like the record execs and the record label people are kind of taking stabs.
Everyone's guessing.
It's going like, well, this is streaming. You know, like they're just like finding the next thing to yell about.
Yeah.
But I think truly, I think there is a disinterest maybe that I've experienced in the pop world of like the idea of like a larger art form than just like a bop, just something to like get you dancing. And
right.
You know, and like, and I don't mean that in music consumption in general. I mean that like your every man is not, or every woman is not like, I don't think that their interest is in like their interest is in like, how do I feel better?
Yeah.
You know, and so they're like, they are having a hard time at work, or they've had a rough day. And I think traditionally nowadays the response is not, oh, I'm going to go find this thing that like shares the load with me. There's more of a thing that's like, I'm going to have a thing that just like rips me out of that mood and makes me want to like dance.
Yeah, make me feel
and that's cool. and like I'm not shitting on that as an art form. Like I think there is an artist.
You are with a receptive audience right here.
I know. I'm hearing the internet argue with me again. Like I'm not shitting on that as an art form, but I do think that like when you had an album, that when it was paramount to purchase an album, to hear the whole thing as an art form, to hear the collection of songs that these people have put out, that was like, that is a much clearer business model, and a like a very concrete kind of like easy, relatively speaking, to today's way of making money. And I think there were probably more artists back in the day who went unnoticed than today.
Yeah.
But noticing now does not mean making money. Noticing now means you have some set of streams. Like I think both you and I probably know bands who have like okay Spotify numbers and have Spotify numbers that we would both probably really like to have.
Oh yeah.
But I still look at them and go like, but you're still working the same job I'm working.
Dude, not only that, I know bands
yeah.
Who have like seriously.
Yeah, no,
I posted this
important quotation marks.
Yes. I stopped doing political posts on Facebook as
much
because it was killing my business.
Yes. I wonder why. I have no idea. I only read a couple of them and went, this should be great.
This guy is.
I really like. That's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why I had to go. Like, he's a really sweet dude.
I know.
Like,
I was.
He's just airing it out. Like,
dude,
and you got to respect that.
Just all of
at
it.
Some
I'm
point.
airing all of it out.
You and the whole band.
Whole. Yeah, not just me.
Yeah.
No. Me and Josh, we went fucking.
Yeah, Colin. Who knows what that guy believes?
Colin,
but you and Josh,
Colin
I know
is
what you
such
believe.
A sweet, nice guy.
I know he really
so
is.
much better than me and Josh. Me and
Yeah.
Josh are not nice.
I enjoy all of your
nice.
companies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But we were doing that. Man, shit. Now what was I saying? So I posted anyway. I posted this status the other day, just being like, "What the hell was it?" It was like, you know, to all the bands, don't focus on your, you know, like you were saying earlier, we're like influencers now more than we are musicians, and it's like, look, you should take your social media seriously.
Yeah,
you totally should. But I know bands who have never played a show, who have like 6,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. I don't have 6,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
No, God no.
Like,
got 104.
that's
today.
That's 6,000 is great. Like, you're doing good.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
And you've never played a motherfucking. Oh, that drives me nuts.
Yeah,
That drives me nuts.
I know, man. Well, and so like I think it's an interesting game to play where you stop looking at it as like, what's the problem with where we are today, and you start kind of more framing it. It's like, where are we today?
Yeah, right.
You know, and like yes, it's easy to kind of like wallow and go like, oh shit, I wish I lived back in the day.
Oh yeah.
You know, when like a band could just tour and make a living, and like one day that will be true for all of us, right? Like one day that'll be true, and we have to have that faith in that. Else, what are we doing? But right now, it is important to understand that like the mode of getting there is not going to be the same as it was back then,
right?
And that like, but yeah, like I.
Well, there's something liberating about that too, isn't there too? Because like back in the there's a really famous Bob Dylan showed up at some corporate executive meeting or something and got too drunk and was just like, "Oh, you old bald people, you don't know anything, man," you know, and like. Good. Yeah, it was awesome. But at the same time, like, we're decrying where we are now and kind of looking to that, like, if only, you know. But the musicians back then were doing the same thing we're doing.
Yeah.
Except for they were making money.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they were making the difference between 100,000 a year.
So
and then
speaking of the album thing, I know you guys are doing a new album.
Yeah.
And it's coming out. Well, it'll be streaming before this airs, but it will not have premiered yet. Hopefully, we'll get to the details about that in a sec. But do you think that, like, because I as a listener, I love albums.
Yeah.
I really hate that kind of what artists have started to do now is just release a string of singles.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want something to listen to casually while I shower. I want to, like, immerse myself in your sound.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about you guys, because I've heard the album, I heard it first. Like, I got the exclusive premiere.
That's what you get for playing a show with us 4 years ago.
So you just show up to the Trip Santa Monica. Good things happen.
There you go, everybody.
Go
boy,
play
that some shows at Trip Santa Monica.
But I mean, so do you guys have, like, so your guys' release strategy is you're gonna do a premiere, an exclusive stream with, you said, Earmilk, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're premiering through Earmilk.
And by the time this comes out,
it'll already
be there.
So I was gonna say it's an important distinction to make. To reverse what you said, it will premiere before this comes out. It will not be streaming. Hopefully, by the time this airs.
Oh, okay.
It will start streaming on the 27th.
Yes,
so
which is
there's your timestamp. Everybody, hold Ben accountable. To
okay, yeah,
this.
hold me. You, it's all on tape, people. Okay, so you're planning. So what we're wrapping up an album too, and we're thinking, like, okay, maybe we release a couple singles before we do the album, which is interesting. Yeah. I kind of like your idea a lot with the whole exclusive streaming thing, especially with a place like Earmilk. That's awesome.
Hell yeah, man! I've been reading that for so long.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We did an interview with Jeanette, who's writing the article, and it was really funny to be able to say to her, like, she was like, how cool is this, like, for you guys to be releasing this record? And she wasn't like, how cool is it to be on Earmilk? But that's what we kind of turned it into. We're like, I mean, come on, really, like don't sell yourself short. Like, this is a big honor for us to be on you guys' blog. Like, that's a big deal. We've been reading it for a long time.
Earmilk's
and it's the same thing with KROQ tonight. We're like, I've been listening to KROQ since I moved here, and that was like 7 years ago.
Did you guys line that one up? KROQ is huge.
It's all through networking,
webs and networking.
It's just networking. I mean, like, everything's
webs.
networking.
Yeah.
Everything's networking. It's all like it's like have a product that's good enough for people to actually be proud of you, and then, like, that's how you motivate people to network with you. Is and I don't know how much this is true, and I hope this doesn't sound pretentious. Sorry, internet. But, like, I hope this doesn't sound pretentious. But like you have to have a product that makes people proud and also makes people willing to be willing to bet on you.
Yeah, exactly.
That I think no one would be sharing our stuff and would be giving us, people's email addresses or, like, the hot tips on how to get in touch with whoever, if they didn't believe in us.
Yes.
And, like, and that's an important part, is that, like, and that is really, to me, like, kind of I'm happy to kind of, like, pay my dues here within the 7 years that I've been here, really doing this thing. Yeah. I'm happy to, like, pay my dues, and, like, same thing with, like, songwriting and with being a band and all that. Like the people who haven't played a show yet, I mean, you'll be in an email thread with them as a person who's played a ton of shows, and you go like, oh man, you haven't played a show yet,
you don't
have
even
you?
realize it. Yeah, exactly.
And you can pick them out as a person who plays a lot of shows. Like, you guys play all the time.
Yeah,
and
we slowed down recently. But
yeah, sure. and that's a good marketing choice.
Hurts.
But I know. Yeah, I know. Well, and sometimes your brand does too. When you play that many shows, and that's a good intentional conversation to have with your bandmates. Anyway, this is all tangential. I like, just to get back to what you're saying about the release strategy. Like for us, it was about finding a way to satiate both groups' needs. So, like, because there are people who prefer a single, and there are people who prefer being able to kind of just integrate one song into their daily life, and again, it's important for me, at least, to respect that journey that they're on, instead of lamenting it and trying to, like, bring them over to my way of seeing things.
Right.
But
you're right. You shouldn't disparage those people necessarily.
Yeah, because they're like like in this world that we live in, and kind of always, it should have always been this way, but we're finally getting there, I hope. But like the way that you feel, unless it's infringing on someone else's beliefs and feelings and ways to express themselves, is like valid, and like you can have that feeling because you're an individual, and like I can't tell you what's going on in your head,
right?
But like also,
but I can tell you that your armpit hair. Disgusting.
Not for me. Yeah, it's not for me as an individual.
Not for me. Not for me. Sorry, didn't mean disgusting. As an individual,
not saying it as a larger construct idea. I do your thing. Yeah. So for us, it was about finding a way to do both. So like, I kind of talked a lot about when we were when I was like pitching this idea, was that I was thinking about it like a puzzle. Almost like, you know, and we're just giving you one piece at a time,
right? And
going like this album is an experience. It is very much about my and our experience.
It's a good album too.
And like, thanks. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it. It's like one of those things that I will stand behind any day of the week.
Yeah,
and like I would go to bat for it and go like, oh yeah, you're going to tell me where I was during this experience? Like, no, this is exactly where I was when I was feeling all this stuff.
Oh man, that album's got the feels, as they say now.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yes.
I mean, like, but our whole brand is honest expression, and and about trying to get other people to do that too, kind of effortlessly. Like I'm trying to almost like will people to go like, just feel your feelings.
Yeah,
right. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, so like for us, the idea was like, what if we so they're not singles, so that we can make an artistic statement by pairing them together.
Yeah.
By going like, okay, so now guess why we put this song with this song and this song with this song, and yes, it's intentional, and yes, we really meant to do that. We didn't just go like, oh, I don't know, this song's kind of fun and this one's sad, so we put that one together so that we have fun and sad. You know, like it's not. That wasn't our intention.
It's like salt and pepper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, the intention is like it's all an artistic statement.
Yeah.
And the fun part for us is like intentionally we said like, great, we're not going to pair them together as in like songs that are back to back on the record.
See, this is what I miss, man. It's like you guys took the time. Like, I mean, and look, a lot of people take the time, and I'm like, it's great. You know, it's like seeing a band who you're like, they're nice guys, but like, damn, they're horrible. Like,
good set.
Great show.
At the risk of showing our cards too much, what do you say to people when you don't actually like their set, but you want to like be nice still?
I just try to walk away, dude.
Oh, you don't? You like try not to interact?
I try not to bring it up.
Okay.
I literally will start like loudly talking about something else. Like I try to just change.
Oh my God, that traffic today. Yeah, very transparent.
You noticed how hot it is. Woo-hoo, boy, they need some AC in this establishment.
How about these motorcycles everywhere?
Dude, yeah, it's bad, man. But like, funny. I get so awkward because like I like people, man. I really like talking to people.
Yeah,
and especially before, dude. This actually just happened to me like probably a month ago.
You don't have to tell me who the band is.
Yeah, I can't say who it is because they're connected to someone I really
Try
like.
not to like tell me too many specifics.
Yeah,
so
I'm going through it.
They listen. Everyone listens to the podcast.
Oh,
man.
obviously.
Everybody.
Yeah. Come on. It's got at least 70 views on the last one. They were doing, the dude was super nice. They were touring through, and they were buddies with a really close homie of mine.
Okay, this is very specific already, though, so now I feel like maybe we're risking. Okay.
It's not too...
No, you played with other touring through bands.
Touring through?
Who are butters?
Yeah, I play with a lot of them.
Yeah, come
on. So he was like, yeah, man, I hope, like, you know, see our set, man. I'm like, totally, man. Like, we had a beer, you know, and he was really cool.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It wasn't just bad. It was awful. And I'm like, that's too bad. Sucks so hard.
It does, yeah.
By the grace of God, though, he just avoided me after the set. So
great.
Maybe that wasn't their best show. Maybe he knew they bombed. I don't really know, but man, it was bad.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
what am I supposed to say?
Well, and so like for the internet that's arguing with me right now about this conversation that we're having, I would say to that like that's that's fine and it happens. And like, you know, and that's not to say that we all are what we are right when you see us.
Right.
You know, like that I think that's the interesting thing about like where we've been is that like I don't think when you saw Ned and the Dirt when we all played together, and probably the same for the Absurd, and when it was Ben Ferg and the Absurd.
At that time it was
I remember. The North remembers.
Good.
Yeah.
No, there's a reason we were confined to playing Trip.
I know. Yeah.
Months.
Same for us too. Yeah. and that like no members of the band who are in Srryprty now were in that band that you saw. But you know, like I think it's okay to acknowledge when someone, not to their face, like I don't think you have to seek them out and go like, that could have been better, dude.
Yeah.
Because that, like, you know, that is condescending. And
well, my general thing though is like if I'm friends,
unless they asked you,
if I like you, I'll probably say something.
Yeah.
Because like, look, take it or leave it, you know. But we're friends, so we have a mutual respect. Presumably, you listen to what I say. I would want you to do the same for me.
Yeah.
I actually, no one has really ever helped the Absurd for undisclosed reasons. Facebook posts that may have made us a lot of enemies. But one guy did, and I've credited him before personally. Actually, his name's Derek Tremont from Braves, who I was playing in as a hired gun.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, remember you texted me about that.
He's a ruthlessly smart dude. Awesome. Braves is no longer, unfortunately, but he's doing really well. Something in film.
Story of every band ever.
Driving a fucking Audi or a Lexus or something.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's not a musician anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, he'll say the same thing too.
Yeah.
He actually, I tried to get him to see Ben Fork in the Absurd, and then eventually we became the Absurd or something. Anyway, him and his band showed up, and you know it was like Silver Lake Lounge.
Yeah.
Before we even had a residency there, we did a residency at Silver Lake Lounge.
Yeah, you did.
Oh boy, that was actually really fun though.
I'm sure it can be fun.
It can be. That place anyway.
Yeah, we could talk. Yeah,
I love that place, but it sucks when it sucks.
Same
when it's empty. God,
agreed.
Damn, it's painful.
Agreed on all fronts.
Oh man. But anyway, he point blank. I was just like, dude, you know what'd you think? You know, and he's like, gotta be honest with you, dude. And he like went through like probably a dozen things that we were doing wrong.
Cool.
And you know what? We corrected probably 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, because there's some things where it's personal preference, and it's like, I don't agree with you on that. But he was right about like 80-90% of it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the hell out of that, you know. And I've done, that's one thing that has sort of earned, I think, because Josh and I are just so vocal and opinionated and abrasive.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
And forward.
Kind of Josh is more abrasive.
Josh is much more
you
abrasive.
Are. Yeah, he makes you look like kind of light.
Yeah, he makes me look tame. That's why he's my best friend.
Yeah.
He's like my cloak.
Yeah.
I seem bad when you meet me individually, but
really
if you meet me with him,
yeah.
it's like, dude, he's a nice guy. I don't know what's up with this dude.
He's so sweet. I don't know why he's paired with Josh.
He should get better friends.
Yeah. I really say all this with love. I really do.
Yeah. No,
and I've grown to love Josh more over the last like kind of year and a half.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate, you know, like, because as hard as it might be to hear, you know what? The people who take criticism the worst are not doing well, man. Like they're really not. Like, and we could probably both name names of people that we know mutually.
For sure.
Like, and it's true. You got to be able to take it, and you got to be able to dish it out, you know. And it's a fucking cutthroat business.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I remember you and Josh giving us feedback on like the original Toothache mix, and you guys being like, "Man, there's something like about that song that's kind of hard to listen to."
Oh, it was the
something about frequency with.
It was the master.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't the mix; it was the master. And yeah, I remember all of us going like, "God, who do those guys think they are?" You know. But then, but also like. It's also okay to have that reaction, but then the takeaway from it is like, oh yeah, but like that might be true.
There is something there, yeah,
and sometimes you don't want to believe something.
Yeah,
and sometimes you know, sometimes you fight it and you go like, that guy's an asshole. He doesn't know shit, or like, oh come on, that girl, like that woman's not going to tell me, you know, like whatever. But like hopefully you're right. Like it is kind of a true friend thing. I wouldn't have done that for.
We wouldn't have done that for a couple other bands who we don't care about.
I know, yeah.
We fucking love you guys.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, yeah. And I genuinely believe that and believed that back then too. That like,
come on, I'm wearing your shirt.
I know. It's a good shirt.
Rest in peace, Ned the Dirt.
Yeah, R.I.P. Well, you know, I like to to be fully candid,
yes,
I have thought in my head like I don't think Ned and the Dirt is dead.
Yeah.
But I do think it might just be something different. Like Srryprty is just such a band effort. And then the Dirt was always like if I ever do a solo project that might be maybe a little bit more Americana and actually fit the bill of the name.
You should totally do that.
That would kind of resurrect and maybe happen again. But
That's the thing about Ned and the Dirt, man. It's such a good name.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, and you can't drop it.
It's just not. Well, and it's just not. But also, full disclosure, it's just not a priority to me at all.
Well, of course.
And
it's like my solo stuff. I just put it up on the internet sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And like Srryprty is just where my heart is.
Yeah.
And
why did you guys change the name?
For a lot of reasons, but like kind of first and foremost, it had been a conversation that Chris and I were having kind of like a year after that Chris joined the band.
Yeah.
Because we had had this problem for about...
Wait, when you guys played a trip, Chris wasn't in the band?
I don't think so.
No
I'm
way.
pretty sure Chris wasn't in the band then. Cause
I only remember talking to you. I don't remember talking to Chris.
I should like keep a journal of like important dates. But I'm pretty sure that Chris joined in something like 2016 or 2017.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
I don't ever remember you guys without Chris, but
yeah,
I guess I just talked to you.
Well, that makes
that
sense.
Night, so,
yeah, and that makes sense. And like I that's not to say that other bass players haven't been worthy or whatever. But Chris is such an instrumental.
Don't ever get rid of him.
No, I would never. And that's honestly that's part of why Srryprty changed, or why Ned and the Dirt changed to Srryprty.
Because you guys became more of a band and less.
Yeah, it's more of a unit and less of like Ned can just fire people at will. And like. And like, not that I ever did that. Like, again, as previously mentioned, like I'm a nice dude and I really care about what people think about me, which sucks
Ned.
sometimes. But like, but we were just so much more of a unit, and everybody was contributing on the business end as well as the musical end.
Yeah,
and that was really important to me. Like I've been pretty upfront with people who joined the band when it was Ned and the Dirt, and still as Srryprty, that like. Contributing to the songs is something that you earn through being a part of the band on the business end. That like I understand how much of a potential cash cow these songs could be.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really important. And like I'm not just gonna go dish that around. And like honestly, I kind of got that. It's funny, the thought that I'm having comparing that to right now. Is like when I would hear kind of Southern Baptist women talk about having sex with people before they were married. That
My
like
body is a temple.
Yeah, that you go like, come on, like this is fucking important,
it's important.
and this is like special.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like give this around to whoever wants to kind of jump in for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, you got to earn this.
I value this.
Like this is beautiful. And this is like important and special.
Well, and that's true, and that's frustrating too when you get into to like arguments with. I got into this the other day. Like I'll get drunk and be an asshole. I'm not sure if you've ever noticed that about me.
No, and that's a very unique problem to just you. No one's ever done that before in the history of the planet.
I'm really
You're crazy.
Blazing new trails here.
You're crazy.
Yeah. So I'll do that, and like it's funny that you say sometimes I'll be a dictator or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, dude, as a band leader, yeah, sometimes you have to be.
Yes.
But also like when it comes down to like licensing and stuff like that, it's like. I look at, like songwriting credits and stuff, and in the publishing world, that matters. And like, I'm a novice
Oh my God,
when it comes to that. But like, dude, if I wrote a song by myself, I am not putting your names on it. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. Like, and there are a bunch of songs that I've written by myself and a bunch of songs that we've written as a band. And the thing is, like, if you recognize the potential of these songs, you should protect your investment. Basically, that's what it is. You invested your time, you invested your energy, you invested a shitload of money.
Yes.
You took a hit on not getting a good job.
Absolutely.
To be a musician, like, are you guys so now that it's Srryprty and not Ned and the Dirt, do you write as a band more now?
It's changing. Yeah. So it definitely the
Is that
traditional
frustrating for you?
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, and like I feel comfortable saying that because I know that the band knows.
Well, yeah. It's hard to hide that.
Yeah.
When you start yelling at them in practice.
Well, yeah.
He seems stressed.
Yeah, and to me, it always manifests itself in like I get quiet and I get kind of like in my head and I start kind of like doing a lot of like staring off into space and like thinking and no, I'm just beering from here on out maybe. We'll see. But yeah, I think like so for the longest time and still, this band, whether it be Ned the Dirt or Srryprty, it's my baby. Like I even though I said that thing about like, well, maybe Ned the Dirt's not dead, like it is right now, and probably will stay that way for the foreseeable future.
For a bit, yeah.
But like I very much view this as like Ned the Dirt turned into Srryprty. Therefore, Srryprty is my thing too. Like I really feel like I started Srryprty as well.
Totally.
I would kind of attribute that to all of us too, that like we were all really instrumental in this, and that like, you know, we were still touring as Ned the Dirt when Cassie joined. And she was a part of that conversation. We recorded this record that we're about to release as Ned the Dirt originally.
When did she join, by the way?
Again, I'm not good with dates. My memory's just terrible.
I'm not either.
I know.
I'm terrible. You told me that you divorced your wife like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my God, I remember being at the Virgil.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performances from you of all time. Because you just, it was like.
I kind of barely remember it, but.
Probably. I mean, I believe that.
What was it? Yeah.
It was like, it wasn't bitter, but it was almost bitter. Like, it was very soon after.
Wait till you see tomorrow night. I mean, like, I really, it's gotten worse since then. My divorce, as I understand it, has changed over time, and really, and recently. This is so tangential of a conversation. I feel like I'm not honoring the band name change, but
we'll get back to
content.
We'll make a clip of this. Ned Durrett talks about divorce.
So I just found out when my divorce, and again, like, let this be a testament to that I'm an open book and that I'll always get real with you,
seriously.
even when we're in front of the internet. Yep. But like I as my divorce as I understood it for the first year and a half of going through it was that my ex was going through a self-exploration period. We had been together since I was 16 and she was 15. Wow. And so we'd been together for 10, almost 11 years.
Jesus.
Married for 5 of those. Yeah. And we moved out here together. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. So I do owe that to her in a way. But also I think like my life probably would have gone fine somewhere else too, but no offense, Los Angeles, but I believe in myself.
I owe that to her, but also on my own, man.
Yeah, like I believe in myself.
Fuck
but
that
but
bitch.
like but yes, I really do. I love this city, and I wouldn't have this love for it if I hadn't been. You know, one of the new songs that we wrote, like one of the lines is in it is like I got drug here on one knee, you know, and that's very true. Like I wouldn't be here,
dude. That's a fucking great line.
Thanks. But it's a true line that like I would not be here. I wanted to live in Austin. But anyway, neither here nor there. So my divorce, as I understood, was very much about her kind of searching for herself and trying to find out who she was independent of our relationship. Yeah. And that was a journey I wanted to honor and was happy to be kind of complicit in.
Yeah.
So when she approached me with that, it was very much like, okay, even in this, I'm going to be a partner to you, and understand that you have to do this thing for yourself, and that like, you know, it's important to find yourself and it's important to know who you are independent of a relationship. I felt like you could do that with somebody.
Yeah.
But she was pitching it as she could not. And that was something I wanted to honor. You know, and then recently I kind of, you know, I'm sure other people are like this, but I don't want to say that I'm just uniquely special in this way, but like information takes a little time, especially something that's so big and that I was so close to. It takes a lot of time to understand it fully and to process it and really get the full scope of what was going on.
I can't. I've gone through breakups after 3-year relationships, and those take me like a year.
Yeah.
Like to just, I got to get really depressed for a while, and then I got to be really drunk and fuck like everything that walks. Yeah. And then like I gotta have a friend be like, yo, I'm worried about you.
Hey, man, you're fucking too much. I'm worried about you.
I gotta be like, good point.
What a good friend.
Go see a therapist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so so it's funny, like we were still hanging out. Like I was still meeting up with her every now and again, and we would like grab a beer or grab dinner, and it was really lovely. I mean, I remember us having this conversation right when we were splitting, like probably the day after we'd really had the conversation. We went out to dinner at Little Dom's in Los Feliz, and like I remember going like, I can't, we'd grown up together and we had like formed our whole identities together, and we had this conversation where we were like, I remember going like, I don't want you out of my life though, and she said like, I don't either. And like, she said like, in fact, any person that I'm with after this is going to have to be really okay with you still being a big part of my life.
Right.
And I said like, cool, I'm in for that too. Like,
you pick the tender moment while we're talking about his divorce.
Josh Martinez cameo, everybody.
Hey, how does that shot look, by the way? I didn't even check it.
Great. Cool. Oh, it's a good shot. Okay, cool.
Josh Martinez, ladies and gentlemen.
We can confirm. Videographer Josh Martinez. Sound engineer, videographer. He's just checking the framing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, wait, do you guys still talk?
No, not anymore now because this is a long story. Yeah, this is what has just happened. Is that we probably like gotten together kind of, I don't know, maybe 5 times.
I don't know if I could not talk to someone like that.
That's how I feel too, so she got into a relationship pretty quickly right after we split. I would say like half a year after we split. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that it was probably happening
too quick.
I was guessing that it was probably
quick.
Well, especially when you were the person who's going, I need space and not to be in a relationship to find myself. But sorry, I'm really airing it out here.
I'm so sorry.
This is not my therapy session, but
cool.
I
did go to school to be a therapist.
That's true. You did just tell me that. It's great. You're good at it. You're doing it.
Drunk therapy. So wouldn't that be a great idea?
Drunk therapy is a fun podcast and maybe not a great idea.
Anyhow,
so we it just kind of started dawning on me because the person she started dating was like someone who's very close to her, and someone she had been kind of close to while we were together, and I had always been suspicious that they might be together. I have a very distinct memory of going like, hey, do you think you guys would be together if we weren't together? And her going like, oh, come on. And like totally going like, bleh. And then like, sure enough, it didn't take 6 months before they were like officially together. And I think she felt safe in admitting that to me because I started dating not a week after we split up.
Right.
I mean, we split. I found somewhere to stay. I was staying at like one of my friends' place while they were out of town. I was staying in their bed. And I was like I was on a Hinge Bumble date the next fucking week.
Yeah, you got on it quick.
Yeah, I did. And part of that's because like I know I'm better when I'm in a partnership, and like I'm not gonna go like I need to go find myself, because I wasn't there. Like I know who I am, and like have felt really comfortable in that for a long time.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so it kind of dawned on me slowly over time, once knowing that they were together now, to go like, okay, I had always kind of been suspicious of that. And I was suspicious of that not because I was crazy, but because I was a little crazy, and I'd also seen a bunch of pictures of them kind of like right next to each other all the time. And like always kind of like hearing her talk about him and going like, oh my God, he's just like the funniest person I've ever met, and like,
oh dude, that is like the worst. That's like if Alex Jones found out that all of his paranoid theories were real.
Yeah.
Like all the things he's been like, no, they're turning a freaking fox.
Yeah, and yes, and so like this,
and then you find out that it's that would fuck me up for life.
Yeah, so we all know where this is going. I ended up this like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
last time we hung out, I just had already decided that like, okay, I need to just ask her because it was just driving me crazy, and I need like full closure again.
Oh dear God, man!
Year and a half after we've actually divorced. Which was
like, no, I'm taking this car straight into the wall.
Yeah. So I just said like, hey, I just need you to be honest with me. Like, did you ever cheat on me with him? And she in a very tender moment between the two of us, and props to her. I'm going to assume she told me everything. Like she said like, well, yes and no. And like we were, yes, like we didn't have sex with him, but like we had a couple times where we kissed, and
there's no way to answer that question. Yes and no, babe. That's
I know,
a yes.
yeah,
and that's not a no. The no doesn't have anything to do with that answer.
I know, and again, in kind of true. In true form here, like it took me a week or so to process that and to actually understand it, and it's starting to work its way into my songs now. Thank God, you know, like it kind of took me a little bit to really start actually being honest with myself about it, because it's a hard thing to know, especially when like I know that I'm a really good partner, and I know I'm a great person, and I know I work really hard on all that stuff. That's stuff I pride myself in.
As far as I know, that's all true, baby.
Thanks. and so like it's hard to kind of have the flip side of that, be like, oh, and you still get treated that way.
Yeah.
And you still get the death sentence that somebody who is like a womanizer or like an abuser.
Ned, I am so sorry to hear all that.
Well, you know, it is life, and
it makes me want to throw a sorry party.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is part of why the name is not. This isn't part of it, but that whole idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to songwriting and stuff. It's just those things are really important to me when it comes to performance. And why, like, it's nice to hear you say that about the Virgil show. I kind of put my money where my mouth is, and I think we all do in the band.
Yeah.
That, like, when we say, like, we're about honest expression, when you come see a Srryprty show, I'm never going to give you a show that is, like, half-assed, that's kind of veiled, that has some sort of, like, you're going to know exactly how I feel during every single song.
That is something I respect the fuck out of you guys for.
Thanks, man.
Because playing to small crowds and empty rooms is really, really hard. And I'm not even saying that show was small crowd or empty room or anything.
That was a pretty all right crowd, I think.
No, it was decent there.
Cool.
But obviously I've known you for a few years, and I've seen you at some places where it's just like, this is
Trip was one of those.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you guys don't, you know, it's really hard as a musician to address that situation, you know, because it's like, especially like, I mean, you guys have, your brand is sort of honesty, and again, trying to, like you said, get people into
pull it out of other people. Yeah,
our thing is like hard rock being awesome, you know, whatever. That is hard to do to a small crowd, because it's like this is just a mismatch. You know,
it doesn't
like,
show. Yeah, it's hard to.
How do you fake that? You know, and you guys, you seem to give it 110% every show I've ever seen you at. I don't think I've ever seen you guys play and been like, that was lackluster. But that one show in particular, I mean, you just, I don't know, you had some kind of fire that night, because like what I meant by like the borderline bitterness or whatever is like you could feel the hurt for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you could see the pain.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah.
But people were laughing because, like, I was cracking up because
I remember
you said a few lines where I was just like, "Oh my god, that hurt me."
I remember saying something. I remember like turning to the band after the show and going like, "Was that too much?" And Chris was like, "No, it was perfect.
No, it was great.
Like, it was exactly what it was.
So good." That was like, I've never been through a divorce, and I felt like I just got divorced. Like, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe that wraps us back around to Srryprty. Why the name Srryprty?
Well,
originally, too, I'll caveat it. Originally, Josh and I, being the very non-opinionated, non-abrasive types,
didn't care about anything. Yeah,
didn't like the name.
Yeah,
because Ned The Dirt's such a good name. But I understand the
respect that.
Ned The Dirt sounds like a guy plus his hired musicians, sort of. Yeah,
totally.
Srryprty is a band name. Mm-hmm. I actually really like the name now. I don't know why I didn't like it before. I don't know why I like it now, but it fits.
When it's relative to something else, it's hard to decide.
Yeah, maybe that's the truth. Yeah,
especially with something that, like, you guys, just having been close to us and knowing us, like, you're attached to that, whether you like it or not.
Change your name.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even if you don't feel like that, like, it is kind of like, oh wait, no, I just like I understood you as something else. I already had the label put on you in my files.
Right.
And now I gotta like take that off and you know. It was, so we, like I said, Chris and I had been having this conversation for a long time of like, should we change it? And we were having that conversation
specifically because
we were having that
conversation now, or
no, we were having that conversation because people were mischaracterizing us all the time. Oh my god! Like
I forgot you said that.
I just I cannot tell you how many times. I mean, it's like paying your dues as a member of this band to go into a room and have someone go like, "Oh, and you're the Dirt. How do you like being called the Dirt?" I can't tell you how many sound guys
Boy,
did that to us.
I sure love it.
Yeah, it really was like every time we go like, yep, it's the band name. And like we like it. Definitely laugh while you're drinking whiskey.
Don't make me laugh while I'm drinking whiskey.
I remember us. We were right before we changed it. We were in Denver. We were at I think it's called Larimer Lounge, and it's this really cool venue there.
I have been there a few times. I
Beautiful.
lived in Colorado for like a year and a half.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you know Larimer Lounge. Maybe you
love-
can confirm whether or not this is the one I'm thinking
I
of.
love Colorado.
That you walk in and it's kind of like a wooden-esque kind of normal bar, and then just beyond that is like a 2 sliding doors
Yeah,
that
I think
open
that's
up, and then it's a
generally
cool
it.
venue. Cool. So anyway, so we're at Larimer Lounge, and I remember us going and sound checking, and this was the last time somebody had done this to us. That the sound guy went like, "Oh, you're Ned," and we're like, "Yep, I'm Ned," and he goes like, "Oh, cool. I guess that makes you the Dirt." And he turned over to those guys and said, "No, you're the Dirt. How do you like being the Dirt?" And we all like
we twiddled the little spinner on their stupid hat.
Yeah, we all really
Dirt.
we didn't like give it to him, but I definitely remember all of us being like, "Yeah, buddy. Yep, that's us." And like definitely obviously not being pleased with it.
That's
and
also like a terrible dad joke.
Yeah.
Well, you guys must
Oh my
be
god.
the Dirt. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I can't tell you how many times I heard it. I mean, like it was
horrible.
it was obviously the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But like so that was the last time it happened, and I very distinctly remember that guy coming up to me after I'd like loaded in some stuff. And we put on stage, and he was like, "I'm really sorry about that joke. Like that was so dumb."
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and I remember going like, "No, guy, like you're cool. Like it's happened so often.
No one means it offensively.
If you had said it, and it was the first time we'd heard it, we would have laughed and like kind of been a little bit more cordial.
Yeah.
But we just, to be honest, we hear it all the time. And that was one of the last times that we were ever called Ned the Dirt. And it was and it really became that to me became like the kind of epitomic of why we changed it. Was like really at the core of it was that like we were all just tired of that idea behind the band. Was that like we were somehow separate from each other.
Have you guys toured as Srryprty yet, or no? I know you got back from a tour not that long ago, but
yeah, no, I don't think we have. So as on that tour,
you went on that tour. Sold some T-shirts, for a week or two.
Yeah, and we
played our fucking residency. Actually, I think, did you play the last night of our residency?
Yeah, and that was our announcement of our name.
Exactly.
change.
Yeah, that was the name change. Nice. Was that also when Cass? Did Cass join the band for that?
No. So she was on that tour with us.
Yeah, she was on the tour, but was she? She came in like right then, right? Or no?
Yeah. So it was whenever that was. When was that residency of yours?
March.
Okay, cool. So there we go.
Yeah.
So we decided to change
was a time.
We decided to change it at the beginning of March. I think that was like kind of middle to end. Because we played
Yeah,
like the
it would have
third
been
or
the end of
fourth
March
one.
because you played our last night, I think.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Then the fourth week in March. So that was, we had come back, I think like that was probably middle of March that we had decided to change it.
Yeah.
And we were just having a conversation in the van.
I like every now and then I see you guys post pictures with those balloons, by the way.
Cool.
Those are great pictures.
Yeah, they were from your residency.
Exactly,
Those were y'all's balloon.
No,
and,
they're great.
And it was a fun little thing. Like we like doing Easter eggy kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah,
if you are a fan of the band at all, like in my head one day we'll have just like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of fans who will like love doing that kind of Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist thing where you go like, oh cool, I just like found the slap my face sorry guy, and then the like shooty kind of confetti gun kind of cone emoji marks kind of somewhere, and that means that like a Srryprty show is going to happen here soon.
Yeah.
Or like that's a clue. I need to like figure out what that is.
Did you know too? I don't know if you knew this, but well, no, I don't think I've ever told you this. I think maybe I told Chris, but in terms of Instagram numbers, I always compare us to you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You've been doing great lately. Then.
I don't know. Thank you. You too. But like,
well, I was going to say, you relatively speaking, I feel like we've gone like whoop.
No. I mean,
cool.
But I don't know why, but we've always been kind of like neck and neck with the numbers on the Instagram.
Yeah.
On the Instagrams.
I think we've been neck and neck with most things. Like I feel like that's always been a good.
It's fucking cool to like grow alongside someone who like is also doing,
Yeah.
And especially since we're taking very different marketing tracks,
Absolutely.
Like I wanted to ask too, because I know you have a song premiering at what, 10:30?
Yeah. Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Wow.
It's coming up.
All right.
Where do you have to be somewhere for that or what?
No, we could just listen to the radio right here.
Okay,
The
cool.
show has started. We could, I don't know if you want to have it in the background of while we're.
Could we? That would actually be awesome.
Can you? I don't know.
I can't do it on my camera.
It's okay. We can figure it out.
Because the camera's the phone.
We don't need to figure it out. I mean, it's all good.
My computer's right there, I guess. Although, do you have your phone?
I do.
Let's fucking listen to it, dude.
Wow,
let's make that be the end of the show or whatever.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Wow. Movie magic as it's happening.
Oh my God. We live in Hollywood.
Okay.
But yeah, I did want to ask too, though, especially because like, you know, this has been the intention behind The Absurd, at least for the first album. You know, obviously we called it "Build the Wall."
Yeah,
cheekily titled.
Yeah,
and the intent has been to
KROQ. Sorry, tell me about your intent.
Oh, I meant when your song premieres. I don't want to listen to this.
You don't want to listen to the whole
hour.
thing for 10
No.
minutes? Okay. Well, for 30 minutes. Okay, sure.
Also, that sounded like a commercial.
That was a commercial for avocados or something. Okay,
So,
anyway.
Activia.
So your marketing strategy.
Speed up your digestive system.
Your marketing strategy, build the wall. I was listening.
Well, basically, like, what we wanted to do was kind of be in the middle enough that people didn't know what we believed, you know? And in order to do that, sort of, like, I come from a very liberal tradition. I'm my entire life I've been, you know, extremely left and all that.
Well, yeah, you got 3 lesbian aunts.
Right?
Crazy.
I mean, come on.
More than I got. I think 3 equals 1 mom. 3 aunts equals 1 mom.
It's at least close.
Anyway, this isn't important. You keep going.
This is very important. How many aunts do I need to have to match the experience of one lesbian
Yeah, we're
mom?
always neck and neck. Let's keep doing it.
But we are kind of the idea was like to. Okay, so it's like if you're writing music that is like, I don't consider The Absurd a political band, which could come as a shock.
No.
But
You're the songwriter.
the reason for that is but politics is my sports. I don't have sports.
Right.
So I pay attention to politics,
Yeah.
you know? So, and I just kind of write stream of consciousness, you know, when I'm doing lyrics and stuff. So
Cool.
that kind of stuff comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, how do we market ourselves given that this is what we wrote? Let's take the anti-everybody dollar, just the rebellious punk rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wonder, I know you guys did, was it an album or a song or something? Was it a compilation where you donated some amount of money?
Mm-hmm.
Was it would you call it a political cause? Was it about the abortion thing?
Yeah, it was about the Alabama abortion
and-
ban. Yeah.
So the question that I'm leading up to is basically like, given the intensely political environment that we're in, do you think that, like, as a band, you should take explicit stances? Should you stay out of it? Should you straddle the line? Like, how do you guys handle that, you know?
Yeah, I think it depends on your personal preference, but I think like we are similar to athletes in that way when we are, at least when we're successful.
Yeah.
And that like, if you have a platform, it's kind of your duty, to me at least, as like, I don't know. So there are a lot of caveats to this, right? That like
right.
I think that what position I hold is objectively the right position, right? And so, so like that's a tough place to be operating from when you're trying to sell people on something.
Solipsistic worldview.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and so to me, I think like yes, if what you're doing. Like my worldview is very Unitarian Universalist, and that like I
don't know what that is still.
The main principle of Unitarian Universalism is that every living thing has inherent worth and dignity, and it's a church that is built around not so much a set of beliefs as it is a set of principles, and so this is the premier principle.
Yeah.
And
so
the
ones that read all the books.
They're the ones who read every sacred text. Kind of piecing together, believe what you want to believe, essentially, as long as it's not infringing upon someone else's right and ability to believe whatever they believe.
They're like the libertarians of religion.
Kind of, but like just the liberal part of libertarian, the very liberal. And so like that just means like as long as you aren't going like, I believe that my thing is right and everyone else is going to hell, like that's a no-fly zone in Unitarian Universalism.
Yeah, right.
And so like I think that is
nice.
That to me is true for my whole worldview.
Yeah.
I just go like, well, I'm not. And it's a hard place to be in because it is a catch-22 in a way, right? Like if I run into a racist and that racist person is going like, I don't think X race is should be allowed to do this thing.
I just thought in my head like you were on a jog and you accidentally bumped into it.
Oops. Yeah, and thus begins Must Love Dogs, but yeah. That's a good rom-com.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So yeah, me and the gay racist. So anyway, so like I think like it's a catch-22 in that way that like if I run into somebody who does believe that like other people should not have inherent worth and dignity, then like I am going like you can't believe that thing because you're telling that person they can't do anything, they can't like have basic human rights, and so like that's what I mean. Like where I'm coming from, I think is objectively the right place to be in, and that like I think my worldview is kind of not trying to like shit on anybody else, and it's like generally trying to go like just be good to other people, be very humanist,
be excellent to one another,
and like who gives a crap about the afterlife? Like it's really about this right here, and like how do I be good to you?
Yeah, right.
Not so that I can receive this eternal reward.
Are you a religious guy?
Yeah, I think I'm real religious. Yeah.
What kind of religion?
I mean, I would say humanist, kind of is what I identify with most, and that like I don't care about what's after so much. I think that there is probably, I don't know if God is the right word for it. I call it the world, or like
you know what? I softened up on the word God in the last 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
I was in accordance with my personality, of course, on the train of the new atheist thing. Just
you and my brother.
You believe in God?
Yeah.
Where's the evidence? You stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see it that way anymore. I think it would be, I don't know, to me it would almost be silly to not think that there's something.
Pascal's wager?
Yes. Yeah. Well, not even that. That's
you don't
more
mean silly
just
and like for your future,
Well, I mean, what's the harm in believing?
Yeah, you just mean logical. Yeah.
But it's actually, it almost runs counter to my, it's like you need to live for something that's beyond yourself, you know? And why was I ever offended at the word God in the first place?
Yeah. So for me, at least, the reason I stray away from the word God is I think, at least in my head, it's got a very masculine connotation to it. That's because I've grown up in Christian churches, and there's so much of like the Father, you know, and like and
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the daughter is doing dishes.
Come on. Yeah, exactly. but seriously, and like I think like my mom has this kind of thing that she says in a lot of her sermons, and the way that she understands Unitarian Universalism is that like each and every one of us has the divine spark, is what she calls it. And I think like that's such a perfect way to describe my worldview about us and like living things. It's like it's almost like an interconnectedness. It's kind of like a web of spirituality and holiness and otherworldliness, if you will. They're like there's like collective consciousness is crazy and feels like to me like a direct kind of neon pointing sign to the fact that like we are all connected above the realm that we understand. And so like that, and to kind of work it back into music, that's really important to me for our show experience. That's almost what I'm getting at with our show experience and what I want for our live show.
Did you ever want to be like a minister or anything?
Yeah, a little bit. But I think this is my form of it. But
I think about it like Sam Kinison, the comedian. Mm-mm. Check him out. He's probably top 10 all time.
Oh, cool.
He's amazing.
Great.
He's from I think that's 80s, maybe 70s, 80s. Amazing comedian. He was raised to his parents were preachers or something, and he started being like, I think they were like radio preachers. So they would do the and God said to his son, that whole thing, like, and that he totally worked that into his comedy. And
Jesus,
just there's something so wonderful about that.
Yeah, there's an AH at the end of Jesus.
And like that's kind of what I think is like, he got into entertainment somehow. Comedy was sort of his way of proselytizing or whatever. That is, I do notice that with you guys, like you have, it seems to be, it's like I don't know how to put it. You're paying service to something beyond yourself, you know, like not that it's God or anything else, but
no, I think it's just emotions. It's just experiential. It's like, that's the whole reason I'm going like, hey, don't be afraid to feel when you're in here, you know, while we're playing, either like literally I'm saying that or kind of indirectly saying it. Like it's the whole point is like that's what is the point of consciousness if it's not to experience the thing on like several different levels?
You would think that, and then most people are just all clammy and, you know.
I do it too sometimes too. Like I just kind of glaze over. Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to be tapped into that thing. And I think like I don't know who's really good at it all the time. I don't think maybe anybody is. So I don't know, but to me, I personally am such an experientially minded person. Like I'm really about kind of living the life and feeling the things. And like if I'm talking about it, it's because I've done it and I've lived it and I've felt it. I'm not trying to emulate some other feeling, like trying to like take stabs or guesses at what it might feel like. I'm going like this is my experience, and I'm trying to channel it into a way that will hopefully trigger something else in someone's mind and going like, oh yeah, that is what that shit felt like.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Seeing you guys live and, you know, having heard this album, like that's heavy shit that you're dealing with.
Yeah,
like, you don't.
It sucks.
You don't.
Not the record, but the experiences sometimes.
Yeah,
can.
the record sucks.
Yeah, but the experiences they suck in a really like beautiful way too. I mean, in a way that like.
What's it called, by the way?
It's called Saw It Coming. and that's a very honest title because I did. Like I brought it up. Like I said, when I said like, hey, do you ever think you guys would have been together? Like I kind of there was some weird kind of part of my songwriting self that was really in tune. Like when I wrote "Fixes from the Inside," when I was at y'all's show or whatever, dude, and Josh got me high outside.
I was just singing that to myself,
and I drove home. Yeah, and that song is so literal and so true. Like it's very honest. That like I distinctly remember that night. Getting home and going in and like climbing into bed and like I'm such a lover. Like if I'm in a relationship with you, you are gonna know how affectionate and how compassionate I feel towards you.
Yeah.
And I remember getting into bed and also the reciprocal of that is that like I feel every single thing that's coming back, and like whether I know it or not, and whether I can like really put it into words. And I remember writing that song the next morning. I like woke up. And like, you know, I didn't have at the time I was like going on these long extended trips for work. So there were weeks at a time where I wasn't working. And I remember waking up that morning and like sitting out on the stoop and just like kind of writing this very literal song about what had happened the night before.
That's like one of my favorite songs by you guys too.
Thanks. Yeah. It's just so honest. And it to me is the epitome of why it's called Saw It Coming. It's like I wrote that way before we were even thinking about getting separated. You know, and the whole record is a divorce record, but half of it happened when I didn't know we were getting divorced at all. And more than half of it happened, honestly, like kind of 3/4 of it.
That actually kind of explains a lot about that record. I've only listened through it maybe twice because I kind of wanted to come out and enjoy it when, you know, everybody's sort of listening to it. And I don't want to listen to it too much before then. But I really, really enjoy it. And, like, it kind of explains, like, there is a certain, like, I don't know, there's a certain, like, you don't seem to be aware of what you're even singing about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
although it's really clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially knowing
Oh my
you.
God. Well,
You know?
I know.
Yeah.
And it's what I think. I laugh about this too, listening to the record myself, is like, I'm kind of impressed with myself of going like, wow, I really knew it was happening, but I didn't know it was happening.
Yeah.
You know, like there are so many lyrics in there that I very genuinely wrote at this time. I did not edit them. And in fact, now that I'm thinking back about it, after I've already said this thing to you, I think the only song that was written after I knew that we were already separated was Saw It Coming. I wrote Saw It Coming as the capstone to this record for a reason.
Yeah.
Because like it really, I was like in my K-Town apartment and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, when were you going to tell me? It was also the other one I wrote before the record. And it was like, that it is also wrapped in there in its own unique way. But like I kind of bookended the record with the only 2 songs that were written after my divorce.
I mean, I gotta say, you deal with nightmares well. Apparently,
Thanks.
that sounds like a nightmare.
Thanks.
It just sounds like a waking nightmare.
It was, and it still is, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's hard to have found out new information about it and not to have had my grieving process be my own until just now. And so anyway, all that's neither here nor there, and we'll get more songs about that. But it is, I guess, it's a little here in that, like, I think every performance from here on out of this record is going to be really special in that way. And that it's like, to me, it's even transformed the songs more. And again, it's more of like, God, I knew that shit. Like I knew it was happening and I was already feeling the feelings that I didn't want to feel, but for a reason, because I like had been wronged in such a hard and dishonest and like active way. You know, like it felt so passive at the time when I was writing, and I went like, oh my God, this is like kind of sinister of like a person that I really thought I knew really well.
Dude, that's we got about 10 minutes until this fucking song's gonna air.
Yeah, I'm blowing up right now. I got people
pull that thing out.
Yeah.
Get it playing. We'll play it. And, you
know, no. Okay, no, this is good. It's just the band.
Yeah. What do they say?
Nothing. That's not important. I don't want to hear it out.
Why? What do they say?
Nothing. They're just everybody has just tuned in to the show. They're just bullshitting.
All right.
It's not important.
Well, so one thing related to that, and then I want to ask you one final question, which we do have time for.
Cool.
One of my favorite studies I learned when I was studying psychology, neuroscience. I eventually ended up going the more clinical route.
Songwriting. Sure.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
There was this study where basically the only thing that the subject has to do is there's a light going around a circle, and all they have to do is press a button whenever they want it to stop. There's no point where they need it to stop or anything like that. But there's electrodes that are monitoring different parts of your brain. So what it found is that your unconscious or subconscious brain makes the impulse to press the button at least 30 to 40 milliseconds before you consciously make a decision.
Cool.
Kind of funny, right? Yeah. So you're seeing this thing happen and you don't even know it's going. Dude, I've written songs that freak me the fuck out 6 months later. I'm like, Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me that I didn't recognize that? You know, like, anyway, okay, so last question. You're on a desert island.
Okay.
And you can bring 5 bands or artists.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
These will change, of course, the older you get, whatever. But 5 musical artists that you can't live without.
Okay. My Morning Jacket, Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon?
Yeah.
Their new album.
Them. I like it. The newest one?
The newest one.
How new are we talking?
Like newest.
Oh, I don't know that I was.
Okay.
Walls? Walls, is that the one that's called?
Yeah, I think
White
that's it.
Cover?
With the faces.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was really poppy, but I didn't mind it one bit.
Yeah.
The
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God, more cameos. Guys, I'm talking about my favorite artists of all time. Get out.
Want to come say hi?
Barney.
No.
Yeah, Barney, Raffi.
Yeah, Raffi.
Who's that guy?
Teletubbies.
Baby Beluga?
That's Raffi. Yeah,
That's Raffi.
For sure.
Nice.
Canadian.
Kings
Anyway.
Leon's first few albums are amazing.
So good. I would really argue pretty heavily that up until, I think it's called like Turn Around Sundown or whatever, or Come Around Sundown.
Yeah.
That one's like kind of whack. It's got like the palm trees on the thing.
That's the one after Only by the Night, right? Or no.
So it's after Mechanical Bull.
Mechanical Bull, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so that's the one that's got pyro on it?
Yes. So Mechanical Bull has pyro. It's got
I really like that album.
Yeah, I know. So this
Kings
is
Leon's one of my favorite bands. Dude.
Me too. Me too.
Whenever people hear me defend them, I'm like, fuck you. Are you kidding me? They're an awesome band.
I even think their newest one is like has a bunch of pop jams on it where I go like, holy shit. It's a miracle.
They're so good.
It's a miracle to somebody evil that this wasn't more of a success.
And fucking Caleb lost his voice or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that
Too
happened.
much of a drunk.
Apparently it was from all the screaming that had happened in the first 2 records.
I'm sure the alcohol didn't
also
help.
probably being a drunk.
that dude had
He's not a drunk. Hey, you shut up when you talk about Caleb Follow.
He had press articles.
He says as he pours 4 roses.
Not that I was. All right. So
okay.
wait, what was your first one?
So My Morning Jacket, Which, if you haven't listened to them, you have.
Jim Jeffries is awesome.
James, please.
Jeffries.
Jim
James.
James.
Who's Jim Jeffries? Oh, is he the comedian?
Yeah, the
James?
Australian comedian, maybe.
Yeah, he's got an accent. He's not from here.
Jim James is from Kentucky.
Yes, he is definitely Southern.
Yeah, he rocks. He's the best.
They're an awesome band.
I met him at a party once, and it was really a special experience. Yeah, he told me to watch. Like the only thing I remember from the conversation was me trying to pretend like I didn't know who he was, then coming clean about that I knew who he was, and him being very sweet about it.
You trying to be cool, like
yeah.
I don't know.
I was like, "Oh, hey, Ned, nice to meet you," and he was like, Jim,
"Not only are you a musician, I know
you.
You're one of the bands that I literally
yeah." I had to. I just 10 minutes later, I was like, "Listen, man, I'm really sorry. You're like one of my favorite, if not my favorite songwriter."
Dude, he's not a very good singer though.
So I think he's just a weirdo. I think he's like just a weird singer, and that
weird.
like when he sings, he just sticks his tongue out. And seriously, if you try it next time you're singing, you'll stick your tongue out and you'll sound just like Jim James. Like you kind of sing in the back of your throat and you stick your tongue out.
Yeah, he's got that
throaty.
He almost sounds like what's the band? The night they tore old Dixie down. That's like how Jim Jeffries sounds. Yeah.
Exactly, James, please. Jim James. Jim James.
Jim Jeffries.
Jim James.
Jeffrey Jim.
Okay. Jeff Jimmeries. Okay. So My Morning Jacket, Kings of Leon, XTC. You ever listen to XTC?
I know XTC.
Maybe they're called Ecstasy. I don't know, but XTC.
What are they like?
They're a new wave band. They're from the 80s, and they sound like all the best indie rock bands of today. When I first heard them, I heard them in Harvard and Stone. DJ Short Shorts was playing them.
Short Shorts.
And
I love her.
She played Making Plans for Nigel. And so this is a song by them. I'll send it to you.
What are their other hits? Do they have hits?
I don't know if they have hits.
I know XTC.
I don't know.
I've seen it.
I think they probably have hits in England. They're a British band. And apparently they are very well known there, but are more of a cult band here.
Yo, pull that phone out, put it on like quiet, and then we'll turn it up when that...
So you can wait for the
pop. They're going to fucking talk you up.
It's happening.
What are you getting? Are you getting blown up by everybody?
Oh, cool. No. Apparently, Kat just plugged us and said, like, coming up with the Regrets, who we're friends with their bass player, Brooke and Srryprty. So they're playing us back to back with the Regrets, which was tight.
Yeah, dude.
So I'll wait, but everybody,
dude, if you wanna, so we don't forget about it, put it on. Just put it like pretty quiet.
Cool.
XTC. That's
you
guess
have
I wouldn't
to
have seen
to
a new
XTC.
wave band coming out of your bands that you can't live without.
Right. Well, I think there are two of them in there. I shouldn't throw Tears for Fears in,
Put it on.
but just Tears for Fears in with one song. We're gonna hear an avocado ad again. See it for avocados, or actually
this ad again?
Yeah, it's the same one. You want to hear it? I don't know if the audience can hear this, but it's a very sweet tune that it sounds like Ethan wrote on his computer.
I was gonna say I just got this gig to do some music for a fashion line out here in.
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
I want that gig. Give it to me.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding,
dude. It's pretty.
You can have it.
No, it's a good gig.
I mean, I want it.
It's really good.
You got it already. So.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, okay. So we got.
Okay, so XTC, My Morning Jacket, Kings of Leon.
Okay. I didn't know you were that big of a Kings of Leon fan.
I love Kings of Leon.
Yeah. I saw them, dude. Actually, I saw them live the first time when I was like 16.
Really?
My buddy brought me there. It was in a place called Pontiac, Michigan. Okay. Shithole.
Sounds like a great town.
Yeah, shithole.
Named after the automobile brand, I imagine.
It was one way or the other. I'm not even sure. And
oh no, it's probably like a native. It's probably a native.
It is. It's
tribe.
It's like a Native American tribe, and
that was named after the automobile.
The car, exactly. Yeah, they're a very new tribe.
It was a joke, internet. It was a joke.
Yeah, jokes on jokes. It was at a festival called Arts, Beats, and Eats. So yeah,
Lovely.
it's for like families. And
okay.
Kings of Leon shows up.
Were they big yet?
No.
Wow.
This is the
so you
album.
heard them like Molly's Chambers, kind of.
I love that song.
So you heard them around that time.
It was okay. So this was 2006. So it was right before.
So yeah, it might be like
they blew the fuck up.
Okay, so this is before Because of the Times. This is probably
Yes.
Youth and Young Manhood, whichever. I can't remember the name.
What's the one with Sex
Aha
on
Shake.
Fire?
Oh, so that's Only by the Night.
Yeah, okay, so it was the album right before Only by the Night.
Okay, which is cool. This is how much of a Kings of Leon fan is. I can talk to where they were in their career when they made those two
I actually know
records.
these things too.
But okay, good.
Dude, I'm so happy you're a Kings of Leon
cheers.
fan. I fucking love
I
them.
never would have paid you for one. That's great.
I cover it up well.
Yeah, you've been hurt before.
I know. But okay, so I get there. There's a decent crowd covering. It's like 7:30, 8:30. The sun is like going down. It's not even down yet. It's an outdoor stage, whatever. I look over. There's this girl taking a piss in the crowd because she's too drunk.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just a mess. And there's families being like, I wonder who this band is. So Kings of Leon comes up. Caleb is drunk, just stumbling on stage.
As he's wont to do.
I've never
Not
heard Kings
anymore,
of
I
Leon
think.
before. I've never heard them. And they open with Charmer.
Wha-
Wow, she's such a Charmer.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
I
band.
wonder why he got nodes on his vocal cords.
This band is amazing. Like, that was such a fucking
Wild.
good show, dude. I've always been a fan of them since then. Anyway,
So wild. I have to go to the bathroom, so while this is playing, I'm sorry. I have to
okay.
pee. We've drank so much beer.
I'll sit here and listen to this. How does this pixel work? Oh, I found the volume. Well, look, I just want everybody to know I am secretly a huge Kings of Leon fan. When I met Josh Martinez the first time, the guy who's producing our album, like right now, literally in the other room, he made fun of me so much for being a Kings of Leon fan, and I have no shame about it because the thing that people don't understand about Kings of Leon is they're an incredible band. They're incredibly tight. They're incredibly cool. They got this super cool Southern rock kind of thing going on. What the fuck is this commercial bullshit? Oh, right, it's KROQ, so that about makes sense. A lot of people think they know who Kings of Leon is, and they only know their newest albums. Their first, I don't know how many albums they had before Only by the Night. I think they had 3. They're all amazing. I don't know what Ned was saying with that other album. Really fucking good music. Really just dirty kind of Southern rock. Also really honest, really authentic. They can get down with the feels. I don't get the hate. I mean, I guess I do. Because they got elevated to like Coldplay status at a certain point. And they played into it, that's for sure. They got all poppy and whatnot. But like, damn, they're good. Even that song, this song Pyro, I think it's on Mechanical Bull, is a wickedly good song. I don't know. They've kind of never, like their newest album is pretty poppy, but I can still put it on, and I like really punky, dirty shit. So, you know, that's my thoughts on Kings of Leon. I'll fight you on it any day. They're a fucking great band. When I saw them, too, at the Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival, the drummer still had the duct tape on his bass drum. I don't know if they still do that, when he had the KOL duct tape on the front of his bass drum. It's a good move. I miss Ned. I didn't think it would set in this quickly, but all of a sudden I feel alone. Kind of frightened. Very anxious. So there's that. Just in the nick of time, I was just telling people how I miss you.
Aww.
Actually,
I was going to ask if you were going to cut this together, if you're going to edit it, but
I don't edit shit.
how many guests have pooped in your bathroom while they're doing your podcast?
You just pooped?
Yeah, it was quick.
That wasn't quick. That was remarkably quick.
Okay. Don't worry, everybody. I wiped and washed my hands, too.
Nice. Let's hear this song.
All right.
Is this you? Cass texted you, by the way. She said, talk time. Is that a thing you guys do?
Oh, no, that's a band.
If it's not you,
It
if
ain't
you
us.
could get her on the phone, that would be awesome.
Oh, my God. You don't want to have Cass on the phone right now.
Why?
Because we had a bass. I don't know. You do want to have Cass on the phone right now. She's always good on the phone.
I want to have her on the podcast.
She's great on the phone. Yeah, you should have her on the podcast.
She's a lovely person in general.
I'm sure she'd do it.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
I know. Tell me about it. Well, that was one of the. We kind of didn't headhunt her, but we knew that we wanted her.
You scoped her out.
Yeah, I mean, we had been friends for a while, just like we had been friends with you, and just gone like, cool.
Oh, yeah, the young
we want to
Winona
have Cass
shirt.
in the
Nice.
band.
Previously Santa Barbara. You guys changed your
Santa
names
Barbara.
around the same time. I found that suspicious.
Yeah, they changed it. I think they were ready to change it a little bit, like kind of 3 or 4 months before us.
Oh.
But I don't think that they're unrelated. You know? I don't think they're related, but I don't think they're unrelated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can go like, oh, cool, you changed the name because of that. But
okay, so wait, what did we get through? We got Kings Leon.
Okay, so I'm struggling with the other two, but I think like
XTC.
XTC is like a must.
Jim Jeffries band.
Jim James, please. Jim James, I love you. I'm sticking up for you. I hope you remember meeting me at Nate's birthday party.
You're a shitty singer,
when you listen
but
to
you're
this
very
podcast,
creative.
he's not a shitty singer. He's a great singer. I really like his voice a lot.
He's cool. He's got a lot of soul.
Okay, so this is where I get hot takes, Bill.
Okay.
Dave Matthews Band.
Dave Matthews Band.
Believe it or not.
I will expose something else to you that...
Well, you're from Michigan, so there's a chance you're a Dave Matthews Band fan.
I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan, dude. Dude, I've seen him live 4 times.
Yes, really? Oh my God, you're that big. I've never seen him live. I was just saying to Michelle, my girlfriend.
The live thing is the whole
I
thing.
was just saying to my girlfriend, I was like, I need to see Dave Matthews Band, I think.
Yeah, before he gets too old and starts
before he gets too
being
old.
a fogey. You
know? I know.
It is an amazing live show.
I'm sure.
It's amazing.
And they're all phenomenal
Dude,
musicians.
they're so good.
They're like, that it's wild to me when my other fellow musicians
hate on
is
Dave
redundant.
Matthews.
But yes, yeah, when my fellow musicians go like, ugh, Dave Matthews. And
Why
I go
do
like,
people
I
hate
go
on
like,
Dave
seriously,
Matthews?
you're a drummer and you hate Carter Beauford? You really?
I started as a drummer, and he was like my favorite drummer. Him and Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers.
Okay. All right. Well, those add up.
Yeah. They both groove so fucking well, though.
Yeah, and I don't know how many cymbals Chad Smith has, but I think I know
only
why
3.
that's-
Carter Beauford has like 19. He's got the Neil Peart kit.
Yeah, he's like the pub that has all the plates with everybody's names on the wall. That's him with every cymbal. He's got one for every lover he's ever had. I don't know that that's true, but I hope that's the story.
I would bet that there was... Oh, except for me being from Michigan, I would bet that you would have never guessed that I was a Dave Matthews fan.
I wouldn't have. No, and Kings of Leon honestly is
Kings of Leon
close
too.
to that,
Yeah.
but Dave Matthews is more shocking.
I love both of them.
But also, I don't know that you would have guessed that I was a Dave Matthews fan. Maybe you would have.
I probably wouldn't have.
Okay.
Kings of Leon I could see, because they have the sort of southern dirty boy kind of, especially on their first few albums.
Yeah, they've got that like inherently southern thing that you can't really place it. You're like, why is this southern? But I guess it is. But I know.
Well, they just got the swag. They just kind of. That song also. What are they saying? Put it up to the mic. Put it up to the mic, man. Let's hear that shit.
These dudes are playing along with the Born Love and Sleep Lust Monday night at the Hi-Hat.
Shit.
I bet they'll do this tune. Their album will be streaming
guarantee we
on
will,
Friday,
Kat.
but we got an advance copy of this track, so let's get to it. Wow. The song is called Saw It Coming. It's Srryprty on KROQ Locals Only.
Oh my God.
My God, this is amazing.
Wow. I want to cry. I just heard her say that. I want to cry.
You should. You should cry on the internet.
Wow, this is cool. This is really cool, you guys.
I won't get you too drunk, Ned. Fuck yeah, buddy.
Wow, cool.
That's awesome.
This is cool. I don't know that we need to listen to the whole song, but we can just have it here playing while we talk about the rest of the stuff. I'm feeling
okay with
self-conscious
that.
about it, but man, yeah, I like this song a lot. This is the first mean song I ever wrote.
I'm not listening to you.
I know.
I'm listening to you.
I guess we have to. All right.
We don't have to. This is a fairly mean song.
The most, yeah. Cool. Oh my God.
Fucking KROQ, bud. That's pretty fucking sweet, dude.
Kat, here's to you. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Here's to us.
At least the third time.
Yeah, that line's really important to me. I don't know if you care about this, but I guess this is
which
about being a
is
musician. But is this always what you had in mind? Would you always bleed us out in time and leave me here turning a book into a page?
Awesome.
Like that idea. I've been singing it in rehearsal. We've been rehearsing for this show, and that idea has been really getting me every time. Something about like that line is really like
turning
kind of
a book into a page.
Yeah, turn this book into a page is really like going like, oh god,
cutting out all the fucking details,
and it's just exactly how it is. Just going like, this was the story of my life, and now it's just suddenly become like just like a little section of it that is just going to be part of my story instead of the story. And it, especially when like I thought it's really hard to. I mean, just anyone listening, like, be in a relationship for 10 years, you know? And it's just like, especially from that age, like, I'm a romantic. I want to be married. I want to start a family, and I want to have all these like really special connections of things that I'll never have with anyone else, right?
This sounds super good, by the way.
Thank you.
Sounds
I'm just
really
like
good.
so proud of it.
It sounds great.
This is really fun.
This record is going to be fucking amazing.
This is really special.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm glad I'm getting to experience it on your podcast.
Dude, hell yeah, man.
How funny. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, to immediately go like, oh, cool. Now that like, instead of being, I was always so proud of that story too. Like, we had been together since we were 16.
Yeah.
You know, like we were high school sweethearts and we're long distance for the first 3 years and turned this into like this really special relationship.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
C'est la vie, man.
It's cool. And this song is just such a wall.
This is huge.
But it's how I feel. You know, it's like, it's all, oh, fuck.
I'm hearing this on, what kind of phone is this again? A Google Pixel?
Google Pixel 2 XL. Because I'm a big man.
Dude.
Fun fact about these, they're stereo.
Oh.
So this is literally playing the right side. This is playing the left side.
They got the iPhone Beat. Oh.
Wow, that was it. I want to hear what Kat says about it. What's she going to say? And that was the best fucking song I've ever heard.
I never want to unhear that.
I'm going to stop listening to music now.
Locals Only with Kat Corbett. No, ma'am. Los Angeles Police Department.
That's it. Okay, cool. She just went right into
What is that, the...
next song.
Is that Chevelle? Oh, it's Locals Only, right? So it's all local stuff?
Yeah, this is another. I don't know who this is. Wow, that was cool. Woo! Sweet. That was a monumentous occasion.
That was awesome,
happening
dude.
right here.
That was
on
awesome.
your podcast.
In this
Congratulations.
living room.
You broke the news.
Yeah. I did no such thing, but I'm very happy that you were down to do that.
That was fun. Yeah. It was fun. Not where I expected it to go, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah. Now you got to follow that up with a show.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I will. It's going to fucking rock. I can't wait for that show.
I can't wait to see it. Okay, wait. 5 bands. So
Okay.
you got My
Five
Morning
bands.
Jacket, Kings of Leon, XTC,
Dave Matthews Band. Fun.
You are coming off as the broiest bro.
I am. Oh, please. Okay, here, I'll throw in one. So this is who I've been listening to lately.
Like Shania Twain.
This is who I've been listening to lately, and really who I kind of model what I want, my stage persona a little bit. I want to be the nice version of this, but my stage persona of, well, oh God, now I wish I had 6. I just thought of another one, but
Do 6. Go for 6.
So
honorable mention.
Queens of the Stone Age. No, I guess I should do Wilco as 5th. And then Queens of the Stone Age, honorable mention.
I love all of these bands.
So
I just don't know XTC.
You need to listen to Wilco or XTC.
Wilco is one of my favorite bands.
You have to listen to XTC.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I heard She's a Jar, Heavy Lid.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That song floored me. The
Also-
first time I heard the very last line where he goes, and he begs me not to hit her.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck
Dude,
you, Jeff Tweedy. You
huge.
suck. I hate you
Jeff
so
Tweedy
much.
is so good.
He's so good.
So
Just
good.
lyrically, he's like second to none.
what is the
Nels
album?
Klein's my favorite guitar player.
Amazing guitarist.
I mean, he's who I want. It's
highly
funny.
underrated, by the way.
Oh my God, no
Yeah.
one talks about it. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like I want to sound like a sloppy version of Nels Klein.
Right.
Is how I want my playing
He is
to be.
So good. His solo on Impossible Germany is like one of my favorite guitar solos all time ever.
Couldn't agree more.
Fucking
it's my
bar
favorite.
none. That's hilarious.
Well, now I want to throw in a seventh. Now that you said guitar
Okay.
solos, Steely Dan is
Steely
a seventh.
Dan is awesome.
All of their guitar solos, I go like, who is this guitar player? You know, and then Ethan knows everything about music ever.
Yeah.
He's just like catalog
He's a nerd.
of who played on what and who did what song. And every Steely Dan song, I can go like, who did this solo? And he'll go like, oh, Chicken Pickin' James or whatever his name is. You know, I can't remember what that guy's name is, but it's the one who played. I think
Why do they call him that? Well, you know, he picks chickens.
Yeah, he's like used to be a country player, and now he's kind of a Anyway,
dude.
So
I am
that's
amazed
7 for
at how
you.
much we have in common with those.
Yeah, it's wild.
Considering how different our bands are.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, our bands are different for sure.
Fucking A, man. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Congrats to Srryprty. Congrats to you. Congrats to everything, man.
Thanks, man. It's
This
fun.
is I can't wait for this album.
It's a fun ride, and I hope it keeps climbing.
It's gonna.
It's
gonna.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah,
It'll
you
be
guys
cool.
you guys are only going up, man. This is gonna be amazing. Well,
Thanks.
I would cheers to you. You got an empty glass.
Still got beer.
Good. Cheers, dude.
Here's to you.
All right, that's fucking content right there.
That was really fun.
Yeah, right. Not bad.
Yeah, it was really fun.
All right. Goodbye, internet.
Apparently the Born Love people. Okay, so the band The Born Love is playing.
Huh?
They're playing right before us. They're opening.
And you're playing with fucking Pepe tomorrow.
The Peppies. Yeah. The Peppies, which they're really good dudes. I don't know if you like.
Pepe is a very nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know them very well, but I toured his studio a while back. And
Mike?
yeah.
You barefoot?
Yeah.